Ugh. I didn't know that it started recording. um, yeah. Took me a while to read this book. Um, but it was really rewarding. Um, Finally, I think after a few months, 6 months or so, and mainly because this book is kind of slow in so many parts, but really, the main story is really good, really explosive. Um, have you ever read books that really made you feel like you're living vicariously through the characters? Because this book is definitely that kind of book for me. And I was actually quite surprised by that because I didn't really expect to get that kind of experience reading this. So just quickly, Far from the Madding Crowd is about this young woman named Bathsheba who is pursued by three different men. One is a poor person who seems to genuinely love her. One is a pushy old man who happens to be rich, who really wants to marry her, and another one is this really charming, but also at the same time this really big womanizer of a person who just wants to have some good time with Bathsheba. And because Bathsheba is a very young person, this book pretty much chronicles her series of decisions in navigating how how it is being pursued by different suitors. And yeah, because of her youth, she also suffers from the folly that her youth brings. And this book pretty much shows how she as a person and as a character grows. And even though this book was written in from a time that was like so long ago, I think it is still quite relevant today. Relevant in the sense that how thrilling it is when you read a romance story of this kind. When they ask that question, that random tag question, right? That sometimes you'll see on BookTube, what's your favorite love triangle or something. I can safely say I finally have my answer because I rarely pay attention to these kinds of stuff, like love triangle or whatever. But in this book, it is quite central to the story. But what I really love the most with this book is how Bathsheba as a character is written. She undergoes tremendous character development, but it doesn't happen in such a way that she by the end becomes this like super awesome, perfect kind of a character, but a kind of learning curve that is more realistic, feels closer to what could happen in real life, where you learn something but it doesn't make you like the expert towards the end, or doesn't make you perfect towards the end. You still have more room to learn, but at least there's this significant learning experience that you gain from the things that have happened over the course of an event or something. Right? So, and also, earlier I mentioned that this book is kind of slow in so many parts because while it is mainly about Bathsheba and how she's pursued by different men, and their romance, there are also a lot of mentions that seem of things that are kind of tangential to the main romance plot. Things like the scenes of a farm, or the scenes of a countryside, what the farmers do in the farms and their interactions, and sometimes it does sort of take you away from the story, but at the same time, I feel like I can start to appreciate what these bits sort of contribute into the story, because their slowness actually bleeds into the slowness, some slowness into the main plot. And what that does is that it makes the characters feel more fleshed out. You can see, especially with Bathsheba, how she responds to 3 different people, and her response feel very real, feel very genuine, and there seems to be like a lot of thoughts being put into the writing of her response to these 3 different men, and it feels complex, and it makes this character feels very complicated, and not complicated, feels complex, and very human, and you end up with this character who doesn't feel like a cardboard cutout, but an actual person, and I think that really contributes a lot in making me feel like I can live vicariously through this book. But yeah, oh my gosh, why is it so dark? Yeah, so those are my thoughts on Far From the Madding Crowd. I really recommend you guys reading this, especially if you are not familiar with classics. I can't say that I'm super familiar with so many classics as well. This is my first Hardy, but I really enjoyed this, and I really think that if you're the kind of person who likes to read something that is relatable, I think this could be relatable. Yeah, doesn't matter if you have never experienced what Bathsheba experienced before, but I think you can really get that sense, the exhilaration and the tension in this book, simply because of the good writing. So yeah, feel free to try this, and let me know if you have read this book and if you like it. If you have any other comments, you can just leave them down below, and we could have a little bit of chat. And so until then, take care. I'll see you in a different video. Yeah, take care, and bye bye.